So I went through this my whole life. Luckily, God sent me somebody, though, temporarily when I was about 16, because I was just totally alone from the get-go. And like at 7 years old, I've said this before, I went to the doctor because I had this nervous system disorder, so my parents didn't know any better. They take me to the neurologist, and then he wants to give me these pills. I take these pills, I have side effects very quickly. They take me back to the doctor, he wants to give me a pill for the side effects. So I take the regular pill, and now I'm taking a pill for the side effects. Then I had some different side effects, and I took another pill. Okay, I'm 7 years old, 7.5, intuition kicked in and said, wait a minute, like there's something weird here. How long are we gonna keep doing this? Anytime there's a side effect, we're gonna take another pill and just add another pill to the whole collection of pills? Is this what's happening? Like, isn't the pills I'm taking causing more side effects? Okay, so I couldn't articulate this thought process, but this is what was happening. But then a thought came and said, yeah, but come on, if this is so clear to you, how does your doctor or parents not know this? It must be you. It must be something you're missing. You need to trust that, whatever. I also couldn't articulate that at the time, but looking back in retrospect, and now I'm older, I can articulate these things. So that's an example of feeling different and being different. Going to school, teachers. I knew that the teacher like didn't believe what they're saying when they're teaching. I could just sense that, you know. There's millions, so many examples. Working, going to work somewhere, the boss getting intimidated because I ask a question and I'm asking an honest question. Like, okay, you want me to do this, but you know, it's like when I do that, this happens, and that's why I want to check with you about that. You don't want to hear that. You just do it. Don't ask why. Don't make me uncomfortable by making me look at things that maybe aren't right with my decision that I'm telling you what to do. Don't do that. He didn't say that, but that's what they were insinuating energetically. That's what I felt. So I met the guy, my sponsor, when I started going to 12-step meetings, because I got addicted to weed. I needed something to like take me out of this world, because this world's not my home, but I'm stuck here. So it's like, okay, let's get high, man. That stopped working. I thought I was going crazy, and I couldn't stop. I'm like, I got to go to a rehab. Went to a rehab, started going to meetings, found my sponsor. He said, look, one day, he said, man, there's nobody ever going to understand you. It's not possible. He says, you have a very high level of awareness. You're very sensitive to things. You see how things work. You know what the people are feeling and thinking for the most part, and they don't. And that was the epiphany. Because something that came so natural to me growing up, I just thought, like, can everybody see this? I don't need to ask somebody how they're doing. I just look at it. Like, energetically, you're telling me how you're doing. I couldn't understand, like, one person would say something, but yet they would be, a person says something, but feels something different, thinks something different, and then acts in a different way. I could see that whole, you know, misalignment in people. And I just thought everybody could see it. But then when I pointed it out, it was like, what? Like that saying, the kid says the emperor has no clothes? It was like that. I'm like, what do you mean? Like, everybody sees it, though. So those kind of things, okay. So that's what I'm saying. If you have this level of awareness that grace gave you, you didn't do anything to get it. You can't, like, go to school and learn this. This is what it is. This is an evolutionary thing. It's not your first time playing this human game. So it's an accumulation of lives where you've been doing this a while, so you're just more sensitive. These impressions, this evolution gets stored, you can say, in our causal body, which doesn't die. Physical body dies. So then when we reincarnate again, the causal body comes back into effect, and all these impressions and, you can say, dormant memories are still there. That's why I say you never lose anything you've gained in consciousness. That stays with us. So this is the thing. If you're like that, if you're like that, how are you going to expect to be understood by the collective? The collective majority somehow rule this planet. The collective mainstream majority, you're not going to fit in with these people. They don't even know what you're talking about. Like, it's two different universes talking to each other. I like that example in the story of the Buddha. There's mosquitoes out, man. Where Buddha leaves the the family in the middle of the night to go find himself. He comes back 18 years later, and his son's 18 now, and he gives his son a begging bowl. And the father and the wife thought it was like a joke. It's like, what do you, like, really? But what it was an initiation. It was that begging bowl he had for 18 years. It was like a shrine. It was like a container of all his sadhana and his energy and his focus and the self-realization. It was all compacted into this bowl. He was given it to him for that. But his father and his family didn't understand. It's two different universes speaking. The father's like, just come back, we'll forgive you, just stay here with us. And Buddha's like that's impossible, you know. They can't understand each other, okay? This is what's happening with a lot of you. People don't understand you. Now here's the irony. And see, it's not like there's not other people like you. They're scattered all over the planet and you can't find each other. Because if you found each other, somehow it would slow the growth of this whole spiritual evolution, this accelerated path you're on. There's timing. One can say, what do you mean? How it would slow it? It should speed it up. Look, there's divine intelligence behind all this. We need this time alone, this misunderstanding, so that then we find the only thing that can give us any kind of true contentment or satiation. God and I are a majority. This has to be realized. That can be more easily realized if nobody understands you. And you have to spend this time alone. You still do your business with the people, be nice to them. You can still connect with you can say their God essence, even though they're not too aware of it. It doesn't matter. You're aware of it. So you can connect with that, and that's what you do. But you use this time because you're not here to waste time, not in this life. You're not here to have a bunch of friends and, yeah, I'm going to, have the Hollywood romantic relationship like they show in the movies. Like, this isn't what you've probably done all that already. This isn't the life for that. So you give that up. Forget about that. You're here to get higher level. You're here to build consciousness. You're here to do something that's eternal. You're not here to waste time with a bunch of, worldly accolades and chasing material pursuit. Like, you've done that so many times. There's a story, I don't know, Ram, I don't remember names, but I like the story. The prince was ready to get married. The king sends the prince to go see this Baba, this awakened being, to get his ring blessed. Okay, he shows up, he rides a horse, he goes and sees the Baba. The Baba says, okay. The prince said, look, I'm here to get married, and please will you bless this ring, and namaste. So the sage, the Baba says, sure, yeah, get off the horse, put your ring in this can, this tin can. So the prince drops the ring in the tin can, and he hears a clink. He's like, there's something else in there. Wonder what else is in there. So he looked, he shook it, and he heard a bunch of clinks. So then he looked in there, there's a bunch of rings, and they all looked the same. And he's like, oh man, I can't find my ring now. Like, what are you doing? Like, you messed me all up. Like, I'm supposed to get married, and now what am I gonna do? I can't find my ring. He says, you know what those rings are? He says, they're all yours. He says, you've been doing this for lifetimes, man. Lifetimes. You're stuck in this material, worldly pursuit game. Make money, get a wife, have children, eat, sleep, die, do it again. That's what he was doing. These are all your rings. He says, until you get off your horse and come here and sit with me, this is going to go on forever. You see, this is what happens. We go to sleep. We can't remember how long we've been doing this. And because we're born on this planet, we have to absorb some collective karma, all those collective tendencies get activated again. And so we can't help for a while but try to chase girls or chase guys or get money, or the same collective program that everybody's doing. This is what everybody does. Go to school, get a job, get married, have a kid, go on vacation, retire, die. Next life, same thing. So there's a few beings that are out of that net. They're just out of that circle. They don't fit there. They don't feel good. Like, it sucks. Like, they don't want to be there. They feel claustrophobic. It doesn't satisfy them. These are the beings that you're going to feel a little bit alone. Now, when you accept this, you accept your path, you don't waste time, you spend your time being open, surrendering to grace, to do this, to finish you off, to awaken this self-realization in you, because grace is doing it. It's not your efforts. Your efforts are there somehow. It helps, but grace is doing it. When you know that this is your purpose for life, then you might start to attract some beings who are like, can reciprocate your level of consciousness and where you're at. It'll happen when you stop looking for it, though, because then it'll be time. You see, that's the thing. That's the joke. Life gives you what you want when you stop wanting it. Well, what's the point then? Well, it's God's point. See? All these little personal desires and all these little things, they got to be burnt up. And sometimes they get burnt up because by doing them, you have to do them. I've made a video on that, how to burn up desires. You can't just meditate them away, not all of them. Sometimes you got to go do it. So I just, did I miss anything? Let's see. I made some notes. Usually I don't need the notes, because when the gate opens, you know, we hit it. All right, so see, I did that. And most people, you see, this is the thing. Yeah, I'm glad I looked. Most people, they're not so wide open, man. Like the real seekers, the seekers, the real sadhakas, the people really hungry for truth, you want to look at every little thing. Your karma has all of it has just been, maybe after 30, 40 years, it's all been uprooted. You're not hiding anything anymore. A lot of people in the spiritual circles, they haven't even started, really. They're doing some kind of little... Their spirituality is like a modern mainstream, like hip and cool spirituality. Like, let's look cool and attractive, be attractive, and people give us attention. Oh, I'm so spiritual, like all that nonsense. But they don't really get into like the deep deal of looking at their subtle motives, checking everything. Like where am I at right now? Why'd I do what I did? Why am I looking at her? What's behind that? Am I just nice and spiritual and I see God in her and blah, blah, blah? Or is there something behind it? See? These are the real people who do that kind of work. If you're doing that kind of work, then you're going to want to share that with people. And then they're going to want to run away. They're like, don't make me look at that. See, so how are you going to, you understand? You're not going to have a big tray of people to connect with. If you're collective mentality, it's easy. You'd be friends with everybody. No problem. You know, if you're a zombie, if you're a robot, this is the place for you. If you're not, though, you're going to be misunderstood. Like I said, people aren't wide open. They're not ready to look at everything, burn everything. No compromising. Don't care about people pleasing. Don't care about being politically correct. Don't care about anything except truth. And they're not willing to sell out for nothing, and they're willing to tarnish the whole reputation if need be in order to maintain truth and integrity and spiritual alignment. And they're willing to be authentic because something inside knows that's the only way that grace can finally come through and give them that self-realization that they're looking for, or that awakening. It's not by mental understanding. Those people are so boring. I don't exist, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, good, I know. The real seeing comes from grace. You see, something inside people know that, a few people, and you can't compromise. You can't do it. You've sacrificed this life for freedom, this high level. So you're not going to meet a lot of people that do that, right? But you will at some point, but just bear it for a while. Be alone and be happy. And if you're not happy, that's cool. Just know that that's part of the purging process. All right, now I think I got everything. All right, let me know if you like that video. Leave me any questions you have. And yeah, that's it. I do consultations if you're interested. My email is on the banner. Have a good day.